Disney has given us some iconic characters over the years, but not all of them translate well in other cultures. Sometimes these changes are barely noticeable, but other times they're huge. We've got 10 Disney characters that were changed in other countries lined up for you, so stick around to find out which Disney princess goes by a completely different name in other parts of the world.
Thing doesn't give you power to create life. It's a homing beacon of death.
Zootopia news anchor. In 2016, Disney released Zootopia, and it quickly became a fan favorite thanks to the adorable animal kingdom. This world looked a lot like ours, except instead of people, everyone was an animal. It was hilarious to see normal, everyday tasks carried out by various creatures. One of the funniest things was the news scene. One news anchor was a snow leopard, but the other one depended on which country you were in. In America and Canada, the anchor was a moose. However, moose aren't common everywhere else. So China had a panda, Brazil featured a jaguar, and the land down under had a koala. Either way, they were all pretty adorable. Girl Plane. Disney Pixar's Cars franchise was a huge hit. In 2013, they decided to make a spin-off called Planes. It's all about a small-town plane who wants to be a racer. It's adorable and totally underrated. But one character in the movie is completely different outside of the USA. Rochelle is one of the planes. She's pink and hails from Canada, but Rochelle is a totally North American name. In Russia, they changed her name to Tanya. She was Carolina in Brazil, and German kids know her as Heidi. We aren't sure why they changed her name, and no one else is. Which name do you like best for this girl plane? Sugar Rush Racer. Wreck-It Ralph is such an amazing movie. There are so many pop culture references that it's hard to keep up. One of these references is in the name of a racer from the game Sugar Rush. Minty Zaki is named after a famous Japanese animator named Hayao Miyazaki. He is famous for awesome movies like Spirited Away and My Neighbor Totoro. Minty Zaki was a way for the animators to pay tribute to one of their icons, but Minty is totally different in Japan. Maybe they thought it would be weird since Miyazaki is still alive in their country. She looks totally different and her name is Minty Sakura. She also doesn't seem to represent mint candies anymore. Hockey players. One of the Disney movies with the most changes in other countries is Inside Out. There was a lot that just didn't translate. In the USA and Canada, Riley's dad watches hockey in his brain, but hockey isn't a big deal outside of those countries. The most popular sport in the world is soccer or football. Americans call it soccer, but no one else does. So they changed the team to be a whole new sport. They made it a lot better for other countries.
So that's how you want to play it, old man? No dessert? Oh, sure. We'll eat our dinner.
Dr. Wu. Since Disney bought the Marvel Cinematic Universe, we can include a character from Iron Man 3. Dr. Wu is a Chinese doctor and scientist, and he's an old friend of Tony Stark. In most of the world, he only appears in a very tiny part of the movie, but in China, he was much more prominent. There are several more scenes with Dr. Wu. They even introduced his nurse. However, she can only be found in the Chinese version of the movie. In China, this film is 4 minutes longer than other versions. These additional scenes are spread throughout the film and center around Dr. Wu and his nurse. An American hero. Buzz Lightyear is one of the best Disney Pixar characters of all time. He was introduced as a new toy in the first Toy Story movie. Woody was jealous, but they end up being friends. Buzz is supposed to be an American hero. He is named after the American astronaut Buzz Aldrin, who was one of the first people on the moon. And the animated Buzz gives a motivational speech in front of an American flag, but that wouldn't mean as much to other countries. Outside of the USA, Buzz stands in front of a globe, and the song One World Anthem plays in the background.
Buzz, I would love to see you try.
LeFou. Gaston's sidekick in Beauty and the Beast is totally obsessed with him. LeFou is Gaston's biggest fan in both the animated and live-action versions. In 2017, Disney released the classic film's live-action remake, and they turned his obsession into a bit of unrequited love. It's really subtle, but near the end, LeFou dances with another man. They got a lot of criticism for this, but that scene was totally cut from the film in Kuwait. Being a part of the LGBTQ community is against the law there, so Disney had to play down LeFou's feelings in order for their movie to be shown in Kuwait. Riley's food. Okay, this next change is super subtle and it has nothing to do with characters and everything to do with food. In Inside Out, a young Riley is shown eating in her high chair. Her parents are trying to feed her broccoli, but she's just not having it. Broccoli is not a popular veggie for most kids in the world, but that's not true at all in Japan. Kids love broccoli there. That scene did not translate well, so animators had to change the vegetable. So, what veggie do kids hate in Japan? This may shock you, but it's green peppers. Randall's Cupcakes. We've got another food change for this next Disney character. In Monster University, Randall Boggs desperately wants friends. He makes Mike some cupcakes. They spell out "Be my pal" in English and are soon altered to spell out "lame" when the cupcakes get shoved onto Randall. But the words pal and lame just don't translate well in other languages. Most languages would need a lot more cupcakes for the first sentence. So in other countries, Randall's cupcakes just have smiley faces on them. Moana. Despite there being many character alterations, most of them aren't that big of a deal. In fact, the average person barely even notices them. Besides, it's usually secondary characters who get swapped out or altered. But that's not the case with Moana. In Spain, Moana is a brand, so they changed her name and the title of the movie to Vaiana, which translates to water cave. Italy had a slightly bigger problem with Moana. There was a famous actress named Moana Pozzi, but she didn't star in anything remotely family-friendly, if you know what we mean. Disney changed the name of the movie to Oceania in Italy. They just didn't want an inappropriate image. Which of these character changes shocked you the most? Let us know in the comments. Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe to The Things for more videos like this one. And before you go, don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up. We'll see you next time.